Good evening. You're watching Halton News right here on your TV. It's Wednesday, October 14th, and I'm Jessica Kading. Here in Halton, 34 more positive COVID-19 test results are being reported since yesterday, bringing our current active number of cases in the region to 210. 95 of those cases are in Burlington, 69 in Oakville, 35 in Milton, and 11 in Halton Hills. There are currently 6 people being treated in our local hospitals for COVID-19. That's 1 patient at Joseph Brant, 2 at Oakville Trafalgar, 2 at Milton District, and 1 at Georgetown Hospital. There are currently 5 outbreaks in our long-term and retirement homes, with the village of Tansley Woods being particularly hard hit. There are a combined 26 cases there in both staff and residents in both the long-term care home and the retirement home. Outbreaks with only 1 or 2 people affected are still ongoing at Kama Woodlands, Creekway Village, and Northridge. There are not currently any schools closed due to COVID-19, but there are 6 public classrooms closed and 5 Catholic school classrooms closed due to confirmed cases. In a few short weeks, the Ontario Liberal Party will announce who their candidates will be to represent Milton in the provincial election. Melissa Candelaria has that story.
Congratulations to all of us. Thank you very much. On to victory.
The Ontario Liberal Party is getting ready to nominate their candidate in Milton. The call for nominations began back in July, and party president Brian Johns says the vast growth in Milton is encouraging.
It looks like there's a potential of 6 candidates that could be running in Milton, and everybody has been working very hard because when that nomination meeting got called, there was over 4,000 memberships that had already that people had already taken from Milton. And so sometimes you don't want to be too bold with your guesses as to what is happening, but it is very clear when you see that type of number, those type of numbers, that people that are joining the party are coming from all walks of life. It's not just simply those kind of liberals that have been lifelong liberals. And so when you start pulling from your left and your right, that is when you start to see memberships grow like that. And so that is a clear signal that something's happening in Milton for sure. And that's actually one of the reasons why we called the nomination, because we saw that groundswell happening, and we said, okay, well, this wave is coming. Let's ride it, and let's get this nomination meeting called.
Now, with the COVID-19 pandemic, the party has had to modify how they run their nomination meetings. And like many organizations, Johns says they will be going virtual this year, starting with candidate speeches on October 27th.
As people sign on as members, then from there they go and say they register to vote and say that they do want to vote. And then what we do is we hold a virtual meeting for all of the members to come and be able to see all the candidates and listen to their speeches and hear what they want to do for the community and how they want to represent the community. And then a few days later, so on Thursday, October 29th, the voting begins.
Although the provincial election is not until 2022, Johns says work on the party needs to start sooner rather than later.
There's 124 nomination meetings you'd have to have across the province, and so if you waited until 2021, you'd have a nomination meeting every few days. But we need, so in Milton, bringing it back to Milton, coming out of October 29th, Milton is going to have a leader from the Ontario Liberal Party representing their community in a new nominated candidate. And the fact is that while the work that is happening right now to get them nominated, the real work begins after they are nominated and are the leader and can represent their community, because there is a lot of listening and there is a lot of work that needs to be done in building and organizing and working towards that election date.
For more details on the nomination process and who has been nominated so far in Ontario, you can go to the Ontario Liberal Party's website. Reporting for Halton News, I'm Melissa Candelaria.
Tyendega features an expansive green space used for golf in the warmer months, and then from November to March, residents currently use the space for dog walking, cross-country skiing, and tobogganing. The City of Burlington would like to make this area even more useful and vibrant for community use, so they want to hear from you. There's an online survey available at getinvolvedburlington.ca/Tyendega. On that website, you'll also find more information about how to participate in the upcoming virtual meetings they will be hosting on October 27th and November 4th. The Halton Hills Fire Department is looking for part-time recruits. We reached out to Deputy Chief Bruce Morrison this morning to talk about what they're looking for in an ideal part-time firefighter.
Usually every year, the fall months, we start our recruiting drive for firefighters to replace those firefighters who have left in the previous year, or who have been moved away, or just realize that they don't have the time to participate anymore. So we always do have a turnover, and we're always trying to keep our numbers up. So that usually means that we plan for every fall to do a hiring for new part-time recruit firefighters. So part-time firefighters, they supplement our full-time. We have 3 stations in Halton Hills. We have 2 in Georgetown, 1 in Acton. And we use our part-time firefighters to respond to incidents requiring more than just a 1-truck response. Our full-time firefighters will respond to the more minor calls, such as CO alarm activations or burning complaints, things like that that don't require a full response. When we do get a call that requires a full response, such as a structure fire or a motor vehicle collision, things like that, where we need more staff on scene, we page out our part-time staff. And how we do that is all the part-time staff that we have working carry a pager. And that pager is programmed to their station and will alert them that they're required to attend the station when an emergency call comes in. We are looking for, first off, someone who's physically fit, who's community-minded, who wants to serve their community, who has availability to respond to incidents either during the daytime or at night, but daytime is really appreciated. We're also looking for firefighters who by being a high-profile member of the community, are very mature and know how to act and represent the fire department in the best way, and really just a genuine desire to help people. We are problem solvers. We're called to help people. Not every call is an emergency. Some calls require creative thinking or just some assistance to the people to help them with their daily lives and give them that sense that they're safe within their community. And we're looking for people who can promote that aspect of the fire department. The deadline for those applications is the 30th of October at 4 o'clock. Once that deadline passes, we'll review all the applications that we receive. Once we go through the vetting process of the applications, then what we'll do is we'll invite them to have an aptitude test. And this is a test where it determines your ability to think about hands-on type things and pumps and levers, just to give you an idea of the aptitude that's required of a firefighter. And once we have that test, those people who are successful, we'll review those, and then we'll move them on to an interview stage. And once we have the interview, we'll ask them questions, about their availability, about their commitment to the community, about their experience. We'll invite them to go for physical testing. If the candidates are successful going through that process, then we'll have a medical with our department medical practitioner. And then once clearance is received from there, then the job offers will go out.
There's certainly been plenty of discouraging news during the COVID-19 pandemic, but one market that remains strong and is in fact stronger than last year is the real estate market. As realtor Amy Kane explains, it's an exceptional time for sellers.
Absolutely, Jessica. Thank you so much for having me. Oakville, Milton, Burlington are some of the best markets at the moment out of the GTA and the Golden Horseshoe area. I'm just looking at my stats right below here. In Oakville, average prices in September of 2020 are up 18.9% over September of 2019. So Milton, it's 20.1%. So huge increases in prices. A lot of people that aren't selling, like first-time buyers who are looking to get in the market, they're going to be the ones that suffer because they don't have a sale on the other end to offset, the increased prices. But for people looking to sell, it's a dynamite market out there. Ground level housing units, i.e. detached homes, semis, townhouses, are flying off the shelf. Condo market has softened a little bit, but prices are still up 5.1% over last year for the condo market.
What would you say are the main factors that are driving this? Well,
what's happened is there's less inventory. So right now, we only have 5 months of inventory. We're supposed to have around 12 months. So the average day on market in Oakville is down 58.6%, and in Milton, 52.5%. So things are getting listed, and we're getting multiple offers because the inventory is slim. So you have a lot of people buying and not a lot of product available. Also, we still have a lot of immigration. Obviously not right now due to COVID, but there's people that are here who are renting, and they're now trying to enter the housing market. And so, yeah, so we have that. And I should mention also, people who are now confined to their homes, whether they're single or families, are looking for more space. So 33% of people have decided they want more square footage in their home. And 44% of Canadians have decided they need more outdoor space or more amenities, i.e. a balcony and whatnot. So there's a variety of reasons that are leading the charge here, all of this activity.
Is some of it here locally also due to those in Toronto wanting to flee the city in favor of the suburbs?
Yeah, we are seeing that for sure. There's 48% of Canadians that are moving, are looking for more green space, and they're not interested in 32% of Canadians no longer want to live in large urban centers. And that's coming from the RE/MAX 2020 fall market outlook report. So these are real numbers. Prices are up, people are on the move. And the one I found interesting was 48% are looking to live closer to hospitals and clinics. And I guess in a time like this with an international global pandemic, people are a bit scared and timid and want to make sure their health comes first.
Do you anticipate these higher prices evening out or dropping anytime soon?
I don't. We, according to this, the Toronto Real Estate Board and the Ontario Real Estate Association, they were predicting prices to go up about 3.9%. Is it 3.9? And now we're actually looking at a 5.1% to the end of the year. So we're going to finish 2020 really strong. The fall market usually starts now, but our spring market was obviously hampered. So our spring market became the summer. And so we should see an influx of new listings coming up in the next few weeks and finish the year really strong.
What about for buyers? Is there any good news or advice you can share from that perspective?
There's always good times to buy. Right now you're not going to probably get the deal of a century. But I got an email this morning from OREA, the Ontario Real Estate Association, and they're trying to drive our housing economy to help generate the rest of our economy, because it is one of the only sectors that's performing well. So they've encouraged us as realtors to write our MPPs, and they're trying to get a 6-month holiday for Ontario land transfer tax. The average Canadian pays about $8,500. So that would be a really good thing. We're trying to implement a 1-year Ontario home renovation credit. So for those at home who are building new things and renovating and updating, that would be great. And we're also trying to implement opportunity zones, which will lead to more development in rural Ontario and northern Ontario.
For more, you can go to amykane.com. I'd like to thank you for being with us here on Halton News. We do need to take a short break. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Halton News. According to the Halton Climate Collective, Ontario is 1.5% degrees Celsius warmer than it was in 1948, and we've experienced a 12% increase in precipitation over the last 50 years. While you may not feel these impacts of climate change at the same time, those in the Arctic community do not say the same. They can feel those effects, and the Halton Climate Collective community wants to bring that to our attention.
The HCC Reads, this is our second year that we're running the HCC Reads program. And last year we did the book Drawdown, which really gave our community inspiration for action that they could do in community, in their homes, etc. This year we're doing The Right to Be Cold by Sheila Watt-Koche. And this book is really the why. Why do we need to do something about climate action?
To make it accessible to everyone, the book is available in hard copy and digital downloads at all Halton libraries and the Halton District School Board libraries.
When you read the book, you really will start to understand that what's happening in the north, where Sheila lives, is affecting us down here, right in the south. And this is really, as Lisa says, it's time to lean in and listen to people in the north, innovative people who are experiencing the change and seeing the changes in their own communities. Their way of life, that population's way of life, is centered around cold and the freezing, and how that provides them with shelter and transportation and food. And when they're seeing that disappearing, it's affecting their lives on many levels.
After the first phase, Let's Read, a second phase will be hosted on Thursday, November 19th at 8 p.m. on Zoom.
Or the next phase is Let's Talk. And we're really honored that the author is doing a personal address to our community, talking about her book and the why people need to care, the why people need to do something about climate action, and what is going on in our country when it comes to the Arctic.
Watt Cloutier was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize in 2007 for her advocacy work in showing the impact of global climate change on human rights, specifically in the Arctic, where it's felt more dramatically than anywhere else. She is heralded as a global leader in climate change.
And this is our chance as a community to listen to this leader, and her understanding of the land, of what's going on, is something we all need to listen to. Climate is a social justice issue, and our actions are creating a challenge for others, period. This book will make people realize that the communities up north have a right to be cold. They have a right to their life, and we, unfortunately, are jeopardizing that.
For more information, go to climatecollective.ca. Reporting for Halton News, I'm Nikki Wesley.
And here's a look out of Coronation Park on this beautiful fall day in Oakville. Taking a look at our 5-day forecast. Yes, there is plenty of rain in the forecast. 60% chance tomorrow. Cloudy skies expected, reaching 18 degrees as our high in the afternoon, and then cooling down for the rest of this 5-day outlook. Only reaching 12 degrees on Friday, but full sunshine both Friday and Saturday. Saturday's the better of the 2 days this weekend to get in any of your outdoor fun. Perhaps pick out a pumpkin at one of our local farms. Sunday, we're looking at a 60% chance of rain showers, and again, another 60% chance of rain come Monday. If you are a person with a disability, you may wonder when the best time to disclose that information to a potential employer is, who to share that information with, and what accommodations you can ask for. The Ontario Chamber of Commerce is hosting a webinar with the Discoverability Network, which connects job seekers with disability to employers. To join in the discussion on October 15th at 1 p.m. and learn more, you do need to register online at discoverability.network. Or if you need accommodations, please email the address on your screen. The Ontario Chamber of Commerce has been asking for feedback from local business, wanting your insight on what matters most to business during the pandemic. In the first round of surveys, the Milton Chamber was in the top 10 province-wide for most survey responses, and they're asking you to help them stay in that top 10 list for round 2. There are some preliminary results already available. For example, 45% of businesses in the GTA had to temporarily or permanently dismiss employees, while only 11% hired or plan to hire. To see the rest of the early results or participate in the new 3-minute survey, contact your local Chamber of Commerce. Taking a look now at how some of Halton's top companies performed on the markets today. We'll be back with Dr. Ashik Bhattacharya, a local psychiatrist, with advice helping us get through these pandemic times. Welcome back to Halton News. We now have Dr. Ashik Bhattacharya up with more advice to help us get through these pandemic times.
Hi, this is Dr. Ashik Bhattacharya speaking to you from the Empathy Clinic here in Oakville. Today I want to talk about a tachometer. Now, if you're driving your car, you might notice that there's two dials that indicate measurements. One is the speedometer that also has the odometer, lets you know how many miles you've gone or kilometers and how fast you've done them. The other one is a tachometer. That one measures how hard and how fast your engine is working. So when we're sleeping, we have the dial on the tachometer that's not even really on, it's off. Now we all know when we're actually sleeping, our brain is quite active, we talked about before. However, when we wake up, it goes into idle mode, which is signified by this slide. So it's going around 1000 RPM, which is revolutions per minute in the tachometer. Now, as we speed up, and this is what happens as we get into our day, our week, our month, or year, as we speed up, that tachometer will increase. Now, if we have a gear, we can simply shift gears to a higher gear, so that means the car that'll be easier for the engine to work properly. But how do we do that as a person as we go through our day? Well, we have one heart, we have one set of lungs, kidneys, and a brain, and so we have to pay attention to the tachometer inside us. Now, the tachometer also has what we call a red zone when we're high revving, and you can hear a car that's high revving, maybe if they're like a red light and they're showing you how cool their car is. That is where the engine is actually stressed. And the reason for the red zone is that if you're in that zone for too long, then you can have serious trouble to your engine if you don't gear down or slow down. So it's really important as you go through your day, week, and month, and year to pay attention to your tachometer so that you're going at a speed and a force and a rate that you can tolerate over a longer period of time. If you don't, well, things will break down. If you do, you'll have a much longer patience and much longer capacity to experience stress also. So this is a very important stress issue. It's also important for sleep, so that when it's time for sleep, you can slow down your tachometer and get ready for it to be at that low level so you can sleep properly. Well, hope that helps. See you next time. Take care.
Thanks for watching us here on Halton News. We'll be back tomorrow night live at 5. Until then, have a great evening. For Halton News, I'm Jessica Kading.